Dreamers Welcome Podcast.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. We in the building right now. CEO PESO. I'm blessed and highly favored. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Man, I got a guy in here that I really forgot how I met him. I guess it was just through like social media, whatever case is, but he's highly respected. He's somebody that, you know, just through his ventures of what he chose to do and how he choose to do things, I admire it. I got two contacts for your name. So what do you go by? Supreme or
Supreme?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Supreme.
we got Supreme in the building.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to throw the government out, but yo, Supreme, I just want to say, man, thank you for coming on my platform. We've been trying to set this up for a long time. Mm-hmm. And thank you, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. You already know.
All right, man. So Dreamers Welcome Podcast, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically just like I like people to come on here and just talk about, you know, difficulties and what they chose to do and how it's working out for them. And it's really not like it's not a thing of like, did you make it or not? It's just more so like why you chose to do what you're doing and how it's going. You know what I mean? So
Yes, sir.
I think that's very important for people to hear that. And, you know, I don't know how many barbers is going to tune into this or people that going to choose to be barbers, but I feel like you got gems to drop. So shit, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Well, first. That was my introduction, but let me get your background.
Yes, sir.
For people who don't know who you are, let's get a little introduction to who you are, where you from, and your upbringing.
All right. My name, government, I should say, Sean Wilson, a.k.a. Supreme. I'm a barber, been in the barber game, I say 30 plus years now. I'm from Dayton, Ohio, technically, but I went to school in Huber Heights at Wayne High School, came out in 89. I was cutting in high school, 7th, 8th grade, doing the football team, you know, $2 here, $3 there. Excuse me. I used to cut at home also. My dad would let me cut. I had to pay him every cut, you know, using his electricity. You know how that go.
Yeah, the bill going up.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So he had to take care of him also. But I always cut hair, you know, since I was 13 years old. It was just something I picked up. Because we had so many boys in the family, 6 of us total, 5 boys, 1 girl. So I was cutting their hair, cutting my hair, cutting the football team's hair. So it was also natural for me, for real. Graduated from high school. I always wanted to be a barber, but I didn't delve right into it after high school.
Okay. I'm gonna cut you off right there.
Yes, sir.
Now you diving in super deep.
Yes, sir.
so all right. So going back into the day, like, all right, you was raised up in a household to where, you know, electricity matter and everything.
Yes, sir.
So at what point of age did you feel like, all right, pick up some clippers and let me get my shit right?
I would say probably around 11, 12 years old.
What's the reason for it?
Because it was 5 boys. Money was tight. You know, we couldn't afford to go to the barbershop every week. I picked them up and I said, hey, let me go and try this. A little cheap hair.
5 random people?
No, 5. I got 5 brothers.
In the family.
Yeah, in the family. There's 6 of us total, 5 boys, 1 girl.
Right. So you chose to just go and be like, all right.
Yeah.
Respectfully, like, this shit is getting old.
Yeah.
I'm about to learn how to do this shit.
Absolutely.
You didn't like.
It was a money thing at the end of the day.
Well, okay, so you're an elder person, by the way.
Yeah.
So back in that time, like, was it that how strict was it to just get cuts? Like, was it like weekly? Like how we define haircuts now?
Yeah.
It's like niggas is on the time stream.
Right.
Like niggas like making appointments. Like, nigga, I'm here every Tuesday for the next 2 weeks.
You're right. It wasn't that structured.
Okay.
It was just a thing where, you know, 5 boys running around the house, nappy heads. We always wanted to look a certain way. I mean, that's still up until now. You want to look a certain way. You want to look presentable. You want to look like you came from something, because we lived in Huber Heights, predominantly white neighborhood.
Right. And this is back, what, tell me
in the early 70s, 80s.
Huber back in the early 70s, 80s, what? Predominantly white?
Yeah, predominantly white. And the
Sound
black
like
people was,
Trotwood.
the black people was the people that played the sports. You know, the tokens, if you will.
Yeah.
So
the niggas that's gonna make it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. They didn't like us, but they used us very well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you know how that is.
You gotta put the stamp on it. No.
Even with that, ain't nothing changed.
Right.
So yeah, it was most likely that and like I said, 6 kids in the family. We didn't have money like that. We always also wanted the name brand. A lot of stuff ain't really changed. The brands have changed, but the purpose of, you know, wanting to look a certain way, look like you got something, is still there.
Yeah, presentable.
Yeah.
Well, you know, look apart to
exactly
whatever you're doing.
Exactly. So
Right.
and that's what it was. We wanted to look a certain way, and we couldn't afford to get haircuts all the time. You know, we had people. I had one of my dad's friends would buy me shoes for school. You know, because it was hard out there. You know, it was expensive. It was just one of them things where we made enough just to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
So going into that, it sounded like okay, you had a full household, and then like you said, like you know your peoples is working twice as hard to get it done.
absolutely.
So how big of that was a motivation for you to be like, all right, man, I got to figure something out?
Major motivation. Now, at a young age, I don't know mentally if I actually realized it at that time, but I know I didn't want to continue not being able to get what I wanted to get when I wanted it.
Yeah.
So I think I mentally, as I grew older, I just say, you know, in order to get something, you got to work hard to get it.
Yeah. Yo, it's crazy you say that, and you just sparked like something right now. I remember, like you said, at the time I don't think we know what we doing or trying to do, but we just happen to do it.
Exactly.
And I remember that's when like CD burners and you know Napster and all that shit came out. And I remember like going like, all right, I'm about to sell some CDs and then go to TNT Fashions.
Yeah.
That's when I was in Trotwood and you know buy some shit though.
Yep.
So you know it just turns into a unfortunate hustle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what you want, but it's like, all right, well, shit, I gotta get the money for it.
Exactly.
All right, so you said you was doing $2 or $3 haircuts.
Yep.
Explain the process of like why you started doing that, and then what did it turn into?
Well, initially I was, like I said, cutting at home, cutting my brothers, you know, for free, just to make ourselves look presentable. Then it transitioned into school, you know, and I played football, so I got around. I was cutting hair.
Good.
Oh yeah, it got around. I was cutting hair, so I would cut. Either go to their house and cut their hair, or cut in the football locker room. And you know, I was only charging $2 or $3. You know, that's basically was like the rate, if you will, and just cutting bootleg cuts, if you will, back then.
But how did you even learn how to cut?
I have no idea.
No, because you came up in the time frame to where YouTube wasn't around.
Yes, you're right.
Like either you got a mentor or you going through trial and error. So which one was it?
It was trial and error, and my hands is blessed from a God. That's I ain't gonna lie. That's
Shouts
what it was. It was trial and error because I'm very artistic anyway.
Absolutely.
I can draw. I can, you know, I got best dressed in school, you know, every year. So it's one of them things. I think some of the stuff is, you know, naturally, you know,
it was there,
put into me. Yeah,
you embraced it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So all right. So with doing all of this at this time frame, did the buzz come around? Like, was you just like the go-to guy? Or?
Yes, the buzz came around. It got basically into the school systems first, and that's really all I needed at that point in time. I would cut my dad's hair.
Wait a minute. You go into the school systems.
Yeah.
So you started getting diverse with like just not where you was going to school at.
Exactly.
Okay. Answer me this real quick. Who picked up on you was like doing your shit good at first? Your peoples or just the people around you?
I would say my peoples, because it was, like I said,
like dad and them.
Yeah, my dad, brothers.
Yeah.
So if my brothers go to school, they're gonna see their hair. You know, if we go into 2 different schools, somebody at their school gonna see their hair.
Oh.
And then now you know, okay, who cut your hair?
Yeah.
Sean, my brother, who cut your hair? You know, and that's how it happened.
A different type.
Yep.
Of
Word of mouth is still the best advertisement.
Nah, but you know it's crazy. Like getting into what we do, like I don't, like you say, like you don't realize you was doing, but the marketing you was doing was like, well, shit. If I cut their hair, you hitting all age demographics at that. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not even thinking it. All I'm doing is cutting hair, trying to make a little money.
Yeah. So okay, so it came with just trying to make some money. But when did the passion develop?
I think the passion developed. I would say maybe 14, 15 years old, because even with cutting hair, they also had we had summer programs where we worked like summer jobs.
Yeah. Like
in a school or something like that, clean up all summer. And it just wasn't, I felt like it wasn't enough, and it wasn't nothing that was going to carry me once I get older. You know, when you start getting in junior high, high school, you start thinking like, what am I going to do when I graduate?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that kind of came to mind. I know how to cut hair. So my whole thing when I got of age and started the mindset of what I'm going to do when I get done with school is cutting hair. I'm going to go to barber college. So I think the passion developed in between maybe 13 and 15.
Yeah. All right. So I used to get cut by my homie that was in Barber College.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts out to Biko. And that's a rough stage, man, because it's the hours you got to put in. So, because you got people that, you know, they give up or they set up like home shops and shit like that, thinking they know what they doing.
Yep.
But the significance of barber college and you putting in them hours, how would you say that affected you?
The significance of barber college in the hours is major. It basically honed my skills that I thought I already had.
Right.
You know, I was cutting a certain way. I was doing stuff that people like, but when I went to barber college, it opened up a whole new world. You know, I wasn't using a razor before I went to barber college.
And you cutting white people.
Yeah.
So,
You cutting all different ethnicities then.
Yeah.
You got black, you got white, you got, African, you got this. All those different backgrounds have different hair textures.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And like I said, I wasn't doing a razor at home. I never did the razor until I went to barber college. Never. So that opened up a whole new level of preciseness.
Yeah.
So, and then, as I said, I'm cutting on a regular basis rather than cutting 1 or 2 heads a week or 1 or 2 heads a day versus, at the barber college, you cutting every day, all day.
Yeah, like it's a shift. It's but the crazy part is why I respect barbers so much and I respect tipping barbers so much is because, like, when my nigga he was cutting me at his barber college, I don't think I could even pay him. I think I had to tip him.
Yeah, you only could tip.
Yeah, but then when he he finalized and got through it was like, all right, you deserve it's like 40 or 50. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a crazy range of like how
it is.
Barbers down there look like waiters in a sense.
Yeah,
it's like nah, like but you definitely like created like your own brand to where how I see it, like shit. You get what you deserve. So out the barber college, because right now you own your own shop, which is These Cuts, which is located in Trotwood. Y'all can look it up. We're gonna talk about how you created their name later. Okay. But at the barber college, you bouncing around, finding your place, and you were still in Dayton, right?
Mm-hmm.
So explain from the time frame of like getting out of barber college, what was next for you?
Well, when I graduated from barber college, initially I was looking for a shop to go to right out of barber college. I didn't find nowhere initially, but I had a friend of mine that had graduated before me, and he had already went to a shop. So he got a hold of me and said, hey, we got an opening coming up. So I went up there. That barbershop was called Quick Cuts on Main Street, North Main Street. Okay. And that was like my first barber experience in a shop, professional shop, after barber college.
And what was the difference?
The difference between
like coming from the academy of like the barber and teaching it, like getting taught everything, to now you you just back. Now you raising your prices. You putting a stamp on it. How do you brand yourself as like, nigga, I'm the go-to?
It's one of them things where you got it. All that time you put in at school, it's time to put in for real because you don't have nobody teaching you no more. Right. You don't have nobody staying on you. It's all about you planting the seed in yourself now. So it was a great opportunity. I went to a shop that was already established, so that helped me a lot. They had walk-ins that came in, which helped me build my clientele. So putting my time in, put my stamp in, and creating Supreme the Barber versus just Supreme.
Right. What do you appreciate about what you do? What's the
every aspect of it? My thing I appreciate the most is the clients because I'm a type of person who I come from a background of cracking on people, and we do
you
that.
A comedian.
We do that daily.
You a comedian, bro.
Oh, it's a daily thing.
If you ever go to These Cuts, man, I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be a fucking experience. I was getting a haircut and getting interviewed at the same time.
Yeah, it's a daily thing, man. It's so much fun. Like I said, I can't see myself never not doing haircutting or being in a barbershop. It's just too much fun.
Nah, but you know what it is though? Like I was just telling my homie that the other day, it was like, man, a lot of things now is the experience of how we came up. So like when young people come to These Cuts, it's like it's an experience because you're gonna get grilled. They're gonna walk out feeling awkward. They're gonna come in feeling awkward.
It's just a thing. It's a family affair, man. So it's one of them things where you still got to put your time in, be professional, but you still can have fun at the same time. Yeah.
So the transition from being a person that's just like you paying booth rent and everything like that to actually starting your own business, like this is what I'm doing because. DCB, how did that start?
Well, DCB, initially I had a partner. This is after the Quick Cut situation. I had went to a different shop, which is called. It was on Philadelphia. It's been a long time ago, so forgive me if I can't remember the name.
It's all good. It's all good.
It popped right in my head.
They'll Google it. They'll
Okay,
know.
yeah, just Google it.
If
but
you
yeah,
know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
I went to a different shop. That didn't work out. Went there for a few years. It was a transition in owner, so that's basically what happened. So at that point in time, I was left with a decision to make. Am I going to go somewhere else? Or am I going to go ahead and plant the seed in myself and allow that to grow? So I went out looking around, actually for another shop to cut at, and found a shop to actually rent. Yeah. In a shopping center. So that's where DCB was born. In Trotwood, 2578 Shiloh Springs in Trotwood, probably about 10, 11 years ago. That's where it was born at.
Word. You remember the feeling you had of like making that transition of like you can do more? You remember that?
That feeling was, yes, I do. That feeling was phenomenal. Because at the end of the day, I'm stepping out on faith. I don't know if I can afford regular rent versus booth rent. Because that's two different things.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's two different things. And, the Lord work it out. I mean, y'all might get tired of me talking about the Lord, but hey, I can't even mention the story without putting his name in it. So at the end of the day, I went ahead and did that. I had a partner at the time. We put our monies together, got the place presentable for what we our vision. It came to fruition.
Absolutely. So for the entrepreneur aspect of it, because starting a shop and then creating a brand, I mean, from how you got presented into it, of just shit, a household full of niggas that need haircuts, respectfully. You created something, but did you ever have any self-doubt in between the whole thing of trying getting it together?
Oh yeah, most definitely. That's always a situation where you have, me personally have self-doubt because, finances is always a major thing to planting a seed and creating something and hoping it grow. So you can continue to grow. I mean, it is what it is. But a
lot of people give up in the middle of when it ain't looking. When you got the building and created DCB, I'm pretty sure it wasn't like people just waiting in line.
Oh no, it wasn't like that at all. It was just one of them things where you planted the seed, you pray and hope everything works out, and if it don't work out, you stay the course until it does.
Yeah. So it's a question that you might think of. But I'm on my Joe Rogan shit, by the way.
Ain't no
but what makes you different from other barbershops?
What makes DCB different from other barbershops is that we appreciate our clients, we keep it professional, everything's done in a timely manner, we're presentable, we're clean. I think a lot of other barbershops, no matter where they are, the vision, I think, is different. And I'm looking at, when I created the barbershop, I created it as a client versus an owner.
Ooh, nice.
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. I like that. Yeah.
I've heard as a client, as an owner.
So from the consumer's eye, what would you like? What would your experience be coming in?
Exactly. This. Nice. If I'm coming in here getting a haircut, this is what I want to see.
Yeah.
This is what I want. I want a barbershop that I don't want to just cut the dad. I don't want to just cut the son. I want your mom. I want your daughter. I want your son. I want your father. Everybody come here. I want a family atmosphere, so that way, when parents come and drop their kids off, they don't feel like, hey, their kid is in danger. They don't feel like their daughter's in danger. They know we have created a situation where they can feel comfortable dropping their kid off, or they can come in here without hearing a bunch of cussing, everything smelling like this, smelling like that. Yeah. At the end of the day, don't get me wrong, there's room for all that. Yeah. But my vision was to make it where that wasn't a problem for anybody.
The first impression is best impression, pretty much.
Exactly.
Totally understand. So you going into excuse me, the people that you have involved in, like I was talking to you earlier, so your wife is involved too, and she does hair.
She's a barber and braids.
Right. So she do both. Yeah. With all due respect, but yeah. So tying that in with both of y'all, was it something that she was already doing too, or y'all just oh damn, you do the same thing I do, and
Well, actually, I met my wife in barber college.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I met her in barber college. Initially, I was at a barbershop. She was at a barbershop. We had no plans to work together. None at all. How that came about was she was working at a shop. It wasn't to her liking. It just wasn't, the atmosphere wasn't conducive to what she was trying to present to her clients.
Right.
So when we was in the smaller building, she wanted to come up there and cut with us. I had a room that was separated from us, so I wouldn't, it wouldn't be a problem, working with your wife.
Around all day.
Yeah. And we had an actual private room, and we said, talk to my partner. We agreed, and she ended up working with us, and that's how it started. So it wasn't a beginning thing. Hey, let's get a shop together.
It just same passion.
Yeah.
Y'all was around each other, and it just ended up being.
Yep.
Man, dope story, man. Because that mean a lot, man. I mean, the cliche story of like, every strong man got a strong woman.
Yeah.
But it's different, nigga. Every entrepreneur got a fucking smart ass entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's
sure to
different.
tell you right or wrong.
Oh yeah.
But so I've been to your shop plenty of times, and like I said, I've seen the dynamic of everything, and it looked like you pick and choose, maybe unknowingly, but the people that you choose to have around in your shop, because y'all maneuver like a unit, like a family. Like y'all down there with vacation with each other at some point, or y'all do certain things. So why is that so important to just have a shop like in a unit of like you? Everybody treat each other the same way. It's no judgment.
And that's exactly what I was speaking about earlier. I'm looking at everything as a client, and my personal belief was, as far as hiring, the barbers. I can't speak without saying, Lord, I prayed about it, and it's like everybody that came, they fit perfectly. Not everybody. We had 2 or 3 people that didn't work out, and and when people don't work out, it's one of them things where I kind of communicate or see how everybody's feeling. That's already there. I don't just make a decision like I'm the boss. Hey, let me get rid of him. I kind of weigh the decisions with everybody. I kind of speak to everybody one-on-one and be like, do you think they fit here?
Right.
And at the end of the day, we all have to be in a comfortable situation. I want us to move like one machine, because that's why, when you come to the shop, a lot of people be like, who's the boss here? Who owns us? Nobody ever know. I don't ever say nothing.
Do people really say that?
Yes. Plenty of people, not in a bad way. They just,
but still, just like.
Yeah, they still say, a lot of people saying it because they like, oh man, this shop is nice. Oh man, I don't hear no cussing, no nothing. This is beautiful in here. And it's normally sometimes older people, sometimes younger people, but a lot of people are just baffled by the presentation. They're baffled by the cleanliness. They're baffled by simple stuff.
Even
what I'm saying?
Even the attitudes, the characteristic y'all put off, because like I said, when I walked in, everybody was like, mindful. Some people I didn't know, it was cool, and I think that you owning a barbershop and the way we walk in, like owning a barbershop is a reflection of you.
Yeah.
And for you to explain it makes total sense now. Like if you've never been to these cuts, you gotta understand, you walk in there, it's literally a reflection of him, because it's like, it's the comfortability you walk in and you get into. Yeah. So I'm appreciative of it. I just want people to understand too, because it's like, it's hard to find a barber, man. And I travel too, and I done got fucked up. Dominican barbers is way more different than how niggas cut. It's a whole different thing. But so with these cuts, like I said, you've been in the business over 20 years?
Yeah, over 20 years, yep.
Where you see it going? Where you see it progressing to?
I was just talking to one of my dudes about this. I was maybe thinking about, opening up another location. But my passion right now is just right there in the hub where we're at. Because, sometimes I don't want to move too fast. Even though we've been there for a while, I don't want to move too fast. Because like I said, everybody we got in there, they fit perfectly to me. This is my own personal opinion. They fit perfectly to me. Great attitudes, great barbers. Everybody. And another thing I love about our shop is everybody in there, except for one barber we just received, is married, which means we all have a common ground.
Right.
And that makes a big difference. When you got 7, 8 people and they got going 7, 8 different directions, that can cause a lot of conflict. But we all have that common denominator. We're married. We all have children. And that's why I say when we get, our materials and things that we wear, I try to make it where everybody has the same thing. I don't want to stand out. Right. I want us to stand out as a unit.
Yo, what's crazy? Okay, so I remember I think it was maybe a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
You bought the whole team Jordans?
Yeah.
Tell me why. Well, tell them I get it, but tell the people why though.
Hey,
that's not cheap. That's it
It ain't cheap. DCB is nothing without the whole team. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I do these things. I appreciate them, first of all. That's first and foremost. And that's the least I can do. I don't mind going broke from time to time, taking care of the people that take care of me. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to, come in there, Jordans every week, this and that, and these are the people that's creating this situation for me to do that. So at the end of the day, hey, I'm gonna plant the seed back in them that they planted in me.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
man, bro, that's a good heart with it, man. Like I was just telling my nigga this other day, it just was like being able to to take and receive is a whole nother thing, but being able to give back, it take a lot.
Yeah, it do.
It ain't that much, but it take a lot just as you to be like to recognize it. Like, all right, well, they put me in position, so let me help them out or whatever the little things that matter.
Yeah.
What is advice you would tell people that is actually getting into, like, I want to cut hair? Because that sounds like, why would I cut hair? Like, but it's the same way a person want to pick up a camera, they want to pick up a microphone, they want to pick up a book. Like, what would you say is the most important thing to somebody is like, before you get into this, like, what the fuck is it? Because you learned the hard way.
Yeah.
From what it sounded like.
Because it seems like right now a lot of people just cutting hair because it's popular.
Right.
You want to make sure you have a passion for it. You want to make sure you want to do it, and then when you do tackle that task, stick with it. You have to be professional. That's number one. You have to be professional. A lot of people think people got time to do this and that and wait. A lot of times people come in barbershops and they waiting forever to get a cut. That's been played out. You can't do it no more. Everybody has a life. It don't matter if they, bums got a life. People got stuff to do. You can't.
No, bums do got a life, though.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people, man, getting a haircut. A haircut changes lives.
Yeah.
It'll change your whole personality instantly.
Easy.
Yeah, and people do that. We got people that come to the barbershop sometimes twice a week, once every week. I'm amazed on people. I'm like, oh my God, you coming every week? It's like, I don't know what kind of life they live, but at the end of the day, they're coming there for a reason, and I'm just glad they're choosing DCB to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Man, bro. So we covered a lot of platform. Man, I really thank you for getting on here to speak your business with it, because I want people to like be intrigued, and obviously the product placement is like, D's Cuts, man. Actually, real quick though.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about why you picked the name D's Cuts, or is it just out there?
It wasn't just out there. Actually, me and my partner I was previously talking about, we was at his house on his porch, trying to come up with names before we actually opened up the barbershop.
Yeah.
And it was just a name. I think his son might have said something. We was like, these nuts, these, just like.
No, but these nuts is the.
Yeah, that's where that's where it stems from.
Yeah.
Because Snoop was just popular at that time, It was like, these nuts, these cuts. Like, and then just everybody on the porch just started crying, laughing. And it stuck with us. I called my mom. We got a new name for the shop. And it stuck ever since.
These Cuts.
And then, we, of course, we came out as These Cuts, but I wanted to kind of elevate it and make it more professional and just use the acronym.
Yeah,
that's what that
is better. Yeah, because if I Google These Cuts for my son, or if that popped up, I might not take him there.
Yeah, and that was like the elevation of us.
If you know that,
of course,
origin of it though. So.
Of course, that's when we transitioned to. We got to start getting. When we moved to the smaller space to the bigger space.
Yeah,
that's when I said, we need to get more professional.
By the way, which is right next door.
Yeah, right next door.
he had a small space and was like, "Hey, we need some bigger shit."
Yep.
And now, you got the wife in the back.
Yep.
She do dreads and everything, by the way, as well. She does a lot. Like I said, and she is a barber. And, man, it's an experience, man.
Yeah.
That's why I was telling my homeboy, I'm like, bro, like, it's an experience with a lot of things that we having now. Like, and it's a dry spot with that shit because, back in the G, it was different.
Yep.
Like you said, everybody think they can just pick up. One of my things that I say is, like, bro, with cameras, and niggas think that they can do videos. It's like, bro, you can't buy clippers and call yourself a barber.
Exactly.
It's a whole fucking different way you got to go about
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you on the platform. Let the people know what you got going on, or anything you wanna present. Or
all right, DCB in the building. If you need a cut, come with DCB. If you don't like these cuts, You already you already know. Fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks.
Yo, man, we out of here. Dreamers Welcome. I appreciate y'all tuning in. We got this.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast.